I'm Richard Lewis, the convener of Culture and Sport for the City of Edinburgh Council, and it's a real pleasure to welcome you all here this evening for the opening of our 2015 Autumn and Winter exhibition. But anyway, it's a real pleasure to be introducing this evening two exhibitions, both featuring William Gere. Now, the first one's entitled William Gere, the Painter That Britain Forgot, and Jagged Generation, William Gere's Contemporaries and Influences.
I'm here to speak at the opening of my father's centenary exhibition, which has already been at the Town Gallery in Eastbourne, and I'm very pleased that it's come up here to the City Arts Centre because it was in Edinburgh that my father started his unusual career. He was at Edinburgh College of Arts, and then he got a postgraduate travelling scholarship and was able to go around Europe and see many of the art treasures at first hand. You have to remember that in the 1930s they were still using black and white slides. So the first time he saw the colour mosaics in Ravenna, it was an absolute revelation. And in fact, those sort of images have, over the years, transferred into his paintings, and you can see that in many of the works around here. This actual exhibition, if you regard it as a retrospective, is probably the biggest retrospective there's ever been of William Gere works, and it's tremendous for me because some of these works I haven't actually seen for 40 or 50 years. And they're like old friends, and they've crawled out of the woodwork. And there are even others which I don't remember. They've languished in private collections for years and years, and then they pop up. And it really is great fun to see them again. So yes, a fine exhibition, and it gives people a good idea of how my father's work developed over the years.
When you were growing up, were you aware of the fact that your father was an important artist?
When I was young, I simply took for granted that my father spent most of his days painting and with canvases on easels. To me, that was just what he did. Other boys' fathers went to an office or worked on a farm or worked in a shop or a post office. And it wasn't until perhaps he became curator at Eastbourne's Town Art Gallery in 1958 and that I began to become aware of his significance, particularly because there were various people that came over from Paris, and the discussions around the family table began to impinge on my thinking as a boy. And I realised that he was a significant figure. And then I think there was the occasion when he was first given an entry in Who's Who, and of course Who's Who is a thumping great doorstop of a book, bright red, and that I recall because actually looking through that and seeing my father's entry, and that impinged quite strongly, and I thought, oh dear, my father's quite important. He's in Who's Who. I used to take a lot of photographs of my father in his studio. Some of the photographs I took, I'm very gratified that I did, because we've been able to use them in the new book by Andrew Lambeth.